Hi everybody, welcome back to Cabin Crafts and Simple Living, and I've got a fun little project today that I wanted to share with you all. This is a historical craft, although the origins of it are kind of sketchy. This is punch needle or needle punch. It doesn't matter which way you say it. I say punch needle because that's usually what the patterns say. But this is a little snowman pin, and he was very, very easy to do. This is a craft that it's kind of sketchy on the history. This very fine stuff is called Russian punch needle, and then other punch needle. The first American pattern patented for punch needle in America was 1881. I read that it was, in the 19th century in Britain during the Industrial Age. The Russian punch needle is said to have originated in the 17th century. By the Old Russians, which was a religious group that separated from the Russian Orthodox Church in the 17th century during the reign of Peter the Great, and they would use this to embellish the priest robes. Excuse me, I'm still dealing with a cough. And then I've embellished his little face with some beads. But it's not hard, but you do have to have specific materials and tools. And you can get punch needles at Hobby Lobby, I believe, but not the one that I sell. But anyway, let's kind of get into this, and I'm going to show you some other examples. I've drawn him, and you can see he's the opposite of what the pin is. His nose is going the different direction because we're going to be punching on this side, but the finished product will be on this side. So I've just drawn a circle. I've got a little circle here that I drew. Doesn't matter. This isn't a certain pattern. And then I just stuck his nose in the middle. This is the tool. This is called the Ultra Punch. It's made in the USA. I sell this on my website. I sell all the punch needle supplies on my website. The thing that's unique about this one is it's got this dial here. Now I am on number 1. You can see that little metal pin is on number 1. But you can adjust. And let me show you what's happening as I adjust. See, the needle is, I'm going to go all the way up to 12. The needle is all the way out. So this is going to produce a very long loop. So you can actually get dimensionality with this punch needle pin. We're going to go back down to number 1 because that's usually what I punch my projects on, 1 and 2. But say you want to do a flower and you want the center of the flower to really have long stamens in it. You can adjust the length of your needle to do that with. I've also got some patterns and examples to show you before we start because I'm going to show you how to thread this thing, and pretty much they're all the same way to thread. You'll see it's hollow. Hopefully you can see that. It is hollow in there. And then there's an eye on the front. And I'm going to show you, and it comes with so when I sell it on my website, it comes with 3 needles, 3 different sizes. So you can use 3 different sizes of thread or yarn. And it comes with needle threaders in the tool, punch needle toolkit. Here are some other things I've done. This is a jar lid. This is just a canning lid. I've glued it down. But if you wanted to do a canning lid, you would just lay this down. Of course, you wouldn't have this in here, and draw inside that hole that's on right here. And you'll have the perfect template for a jar lid. So you can do this for any holiday, and then you can fill it with candies or little surprises or whatever. Here's another pin I did. This is a little watermelon. I love to embellish them with beads. And of course, you can see the back is just covered with felt. This is a chocolate bunny butt. This is the back end of a bunny rabbit. But my favorite one to do, and I sell out of these in the shop, is peeps. These are going to be peep pins. They're not finished yet because I wanted to show you the finished front, and I just put little beads in for their eyes. But this is the back. This is the side you're punching on, and you can see I drew little holes to kind of punch around so that I can sink those beads down in there. But this is what it looks like on the back. And this is the Easter peep pins. I also do a purple one. Okay, let's talk about the material we're using. This is called weaver's cloth. You can't just use any calico or any white material. You can if you iron on some Wonder Under first, because it's got to be a very tight. So, like if you want to punch a pin or something on a cute calico, you need to iron on some Wonder Under on the opposite side so that it's a tight enough weave, because if the weave is not tight enough, these loops just pull right back out and it's very aggravating. The other thing you need is a no-slip hoop. This is called a no-slip hoop. It's got, I don't want to undo this because I've got it what's called drum tight, and that's what you want. You want drum tight. But it's got like a lip on the inside where it really catches, and it keeps this really tight, keeps it from loosening up as you go. And this is also made in the USA by the same company. I sell these on my website. I sell weaver's cloth. I sell the tool. I sell the hoops. I sell 2 different size hoops. This is, I think, a 5-inch, and I also sell a 7-inch. And then I sell like a starter kit, and I didn't bring that with me today, but the starter kit doesn't come with the tool, but it comes with a big piece of weaver's cloth that's got 4 different real simple designs pre-printed on it that you can use to start to practice. All of the things that have to do with punch needle on my website are 10% off right now. And I know when you look at this, you're kind of going to be shocked. This is not cheap to get into at first, but once you get these tools, it is cheap. Most of the time you're going to be using embroidery floss. I use crochet thread. This is going to be the snowman's nose. And then this is this big one. This is the same thread I use to sew my band boxes. So this big one, this is crochet thread, and it will work in this finest needle. So, or you can use 3 strands of embroidery floss. Now there is a company called Valdani, and they sell like specific kits of these beautiful threads. These are fall colors. Let's see what it says. It's called Addie's Treasures. This is pearl cotton size 12. This is like embroidery thread that's already been separated into 3 strands, so you don't have to do any separation. And it comes in infinite variety of colors. You don't have to buy kits. You can buy individual rolls. Also, in Hobby Lobby, where they sell the DMC floss, you will see DMC rolls that look just like this. You can use those. In fact, I prefer to use those because they're already separated into a 3-strand string. So that's the kind of material you're going to be using. You can also use yarn in this, but you would need the bigger needle. I brought a couple of patterns that I've used and sold in the store. This was a snowman pocket. You can see he's got a little top where you can stuff him with some stuff. This is from Threads That Bind. And you see it says punch needle embroidery. And it's threadsthatbindonline.com. Then I have another little pocket, and this is a pumpkin, a jack-o'-lantern. And you can see, so what you got to do is when you're finished, you have to sew some material onto the back side. And I just do that with my sewing machine. And this makes a little pocket. I've hand-drawn some of my own designs. I don't know if you saw recently on my Facebook page, but I had some pin cushions that had these 3 designs on them. I just drew these by hand. You can also use a coloring book, a page out of a kid's coloring book as a pattern. Then you can go online on Etsy, and they have these instant printable ones. This is a colonial cow. You can see he makes a little pillow or a pillow tuck or whatever. But this was Tara Guernsey, and she has an Etsy shop. And this is an instant printable. So you get the pattern, and you see the numbers are backwards. You get the pattern, the instructions, and the color photograph. And you'll print this off your printer. So you pay for it. She emails it to you within minutes, and you just print it off. Very easy to do. You don't even go to the store. Here's another one of hers, Orange Kitty. Here's another one of hers, Heart and Soul. These are all that I printed off of Etsy. Here's one. This is like autumn leaf bowl fillers and stuff. But I thought they would make cute pins. I love pins. This one's called Prim in the Country, gingerbread men and peppermint sticks. And I love fall and squirrels. This is a fall pattern. So all you got to do is go into Etsy and search punch needle patterns, and a plethora of people will come up. But now I'm going to show you. So with your punch needle, you will get a threader. This is threaders that I've sold separately for extra threaders, but you get a threader with the needle in the needle kit. And I'm just going to take one of these out. And I'm left-handed, but it doesn't matter. You'll just do the opposite of what I'm doing. And I'm going to show you how to thread this thing. So first of all, we're going to turn it where that hollow part is up. And we're going to insert the end, and this is very fine, inside that hollow and feed it through. And it comes out this end. Now, when you punch needle, you always want to do your little details first, and then your bigger details, and then background if you're doing any. So the only thing that is going to be on this snowman, because this is so simple, is his nose, and then I'll do bead eyes. So you're going to feed this through this loop, and pull about a couple inches out for a tail. Easier said than done. There's a little loop down there. Okay. So you can see I have a tail, a couple inches, and you're going to pull this threader back out, and out it comes. Okay. Let's take this out of this threader. Let's pull ourselves back at about another couple inch tail. Now we're going to go in through the front of the needle, in that eye. This is behind it. So we're going to pull that down, and we're going to take our threader, and we're going to go through the eye of the needle. Open out your threader. And then we're going to feed this through the threader and pull it out the front of the eye. This is very important. If you don't do this step, it will not work. Okay? So now, I'll see if I can get it. Now you have your thread is coming all the way up through the bottom of your punch needle tool, because this is hollow. It came out through the top, and then we threaded it back through the front of the eye. So it's coming out the front of the eye. Can you see that? Okay, and you want to give yourself a lot of slack, because if you don't, your stitches will pull back out. You're going to hold your punch needle, whether you're left or right-handed, with the open side facing toward you. Your thumb is going to pretty much be in alignment with that grill there of all your different gauges. And we're going to start punching. So here we go. And I'm just going to go right on the line. This is the open part is facing me, and I'm going to go left to right. Now you all are going to go right to left if you're left-handed. And what you do is you punch it all the way down. You bring it up and you drag. You never do not pull the needle out all the way like that. Okay? And then you're going to drag just a couple little spots and punch and drag and punch and drag and punch. And you should hear a pop, scratch, pop, scratch, pop, scratch, pop. You turn your piece. You can turn your work. Make sure your thread is not hung up. And you'll be tempted, hear that pop? You'll be tempted to flip your work over and look at it, but don't do it yet. Till you're right back where you started. Now you just go inside that line. And it actually goes very fast. And if you'll notice, a lot of times you'll see this kind of punch needle work on like your teenage high school's boys' letter jacket. Their letter on their letter jacket looks like it's punch needle, but it's been done by a machine. Hear that pop? And just turn your work and you just keep going. And of course, the closer you get to being filled in, the faster it will go, because you don't have you're filling in that little carrot. So like I said, this is on the website, www.scoshop.com. Everything's been marked down 10%. And it's going to look like, I think the tool is like around $30. I'm not sure. But once you get your supplies bought, the only thing you ever really need to get is your embroidery floss or your yarn, and as you need it, the punch needle fabric. And you can see how fast this fills in. It takes me about an hour to do a peep pin. It won't take as long to do the snowman, and I'm not going to do the whole snowman on this tutorial. Now, what I'm going to do I'm done with the orange, so I'm going to put my fingertip right there where the needle is and just pull. And then you've got your little embroidery scissors, and we're going to cut that. We're going to cut it flush, and we're going to cut this one flush. Now, that's what it looks like. Now on this side, I don't know if you can see it. Maybe if I go like that. You see there's one sticking up a little too high? There's see that one sticking up too high? Sometimes that happens. You accidentally push a loop through even more. All you have to do is just cut it flush. So I wait usually until I get finished with, I usually get finished with my whole project before I worry about doing that. So his nose is done. And I'm not going to do all of the whole thing, but I'll just go show you again so you can see this threading process. I'm going to pull the orange out now. I don't need my orange anymore. And I got these little, both of these rolls, both the large one and the small one, at Hobby Lobby. This one came in a kit of like 28 colors or something, and it lasts a long way. The big ones, and they're not expensive. You can get them when they go on sale for 50% off. And these come in a ton of colors too. So that's a very reasonable way. And you can see this is just crochet thread. The Valdani, obviously, is a little bit thinner than that. So you will be making more stitches with it. But it is beautiful stuff. It's made in Italy. But my punch tool, all of my punch accessories are made by Ultra Punch Needle, and they are made in the USA. So you will pay a little bit more on, obviously. Okay, we're going to do the same thing again. We're going to go back. That is such a fine thing to see, especially when I'm trying to look through a camera. And we go down through the middle of our tool, and it comes out the bottom. We're going to feed up. And if you'll notice, there's almost like a little knot on the end of that wire, which will keeps your thread in there while you pull it through. And now we're going to pull it back out the top. Okay, take your thread out. Give yourself about a couple of inch tail. Turn your tool around. Hold that back. And you're going to go in the front of the eye of the needle with your threader. Open your threader wire up, feed that tail through, and pull it back out. Okay. And then just give yourself about an inch or so of tail. So you can do this one of two ways. You can either start on the detail and work your way around to the outside edge, but I just go ahead and stick it down in. Again, see where my thumb is? And then you should be able to see that open end of your needle. And you just start on the line and you drag and punch. And I'm only going, if you can see the weave on this, I'm skipping about 2 or 3 little squares on this linen-y looking material. Now, they do not sell weaver's cloth at Hobby Lobby unless they've changed. I sell it on my website. I sell a fat quarter of it for $5, and a fat quarter is a large piece, and you can do a lot of, remember to give yourself plenty of slack. You can do a lot of projects with a fat quarter. Hear that pop noise? Again, I'm not taking my tool. You can see my tool is dragging across the surface every about 3 inches little square, or 3 little tiny squares of this weave, not 3 inches. And you just go all the way around. And I can tell that my string got stuck on the screw there. Okay, and we're back to where we started. Now, if you look at it, it looks pretty jagged. But as you go along and keep filling in and keep filling in and keep filling in, you will not be able to see. Everything will fill in nicely. If you do notice that you've left big gaps in the back once you turn it over, and you can actually see little lines where you didn't get it all, you can actually take your needle and just go in and fill in wherever little bald spots you have. But I'm gonna stop that there and set this aside. And we'll talk a little bit about finishing. And that's why I left the peeps unfinished. So I just went to Hobby Lobby in the felt department. They've got the exact same brightly colored felt as these peeps. And so you'll cut it out. And you cut it out and leave yourself, about a 1/4 to 1/2 inch all the way around. And of course, on curves, you're going to have to snip, 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 snip. And you glue all of that excess material in. It's going to be like the paper on my band box. You're going to make little snips all the way around and fold those little snips in, because this is all curves for the most part. When you get this material folded in and glued down, and you can just use like Aleene's fabric glue or whatever, then the template that you had for your peep, for your bunny, you'll cut that out of felt, glue it on the back and make it look nice and neat. So like on this one, I glued a circle of felt. And then you get the little pin backs at Walmart or Hobby Lobby or any craft store. I'm sure Michael's would have them too. And I sew my pin backs on just because I don't want to be cheap and have them come off of somebody's coat or something. And then, like I said, I left little holes where their eyes and nose would be so that I could sink the little black beads in. And those are glued down with craft glue. I did not sew those down. Now, I did sew the snowmen down because I did not leave little holes in the back of the snowmen to sink them down into the pile. I just, I sewed these on. But I left the little holes, and I just took some Aleene's craft glue, which is super strong stuff, and I glued their little faces down. So I've got some other another example to show you. This is a larger piece. The only thing I've got to do to this is glue a black bead for the eye, but this is on a little paddle board, And this is a larger piece, as you can see. I try not to do anything larger than 5 by 7, just because punch needle is so fine and little, it would take you forever to do a big thing. This took several hours. But this one's for Easter. It just says hair, and I got to put a little black bead in there. I got to sew a little black bead in there, but and I forgot to do it before I glued it down, but I will do it. But anyway, you can make all sorts of cute projects with this. This is a fun thing to do in the wintertime when you have spare time. You can make Christmas gifts for next year. You can make Valentine gifts on the lid. I did a heart on a bunch of them and then put Hershey's Kisses in it in a jar, in a cute mason jar. Make a cute teacher's gift. At Christmas, you can put peppermints in the peppermint lid. At Easter, you can make, Easter candy or something. But this is my favorite. I love the peeps. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something. Again, all of the materials are on my website, www.scoshop.com. And I'll try and remember to put that in the description. But thank you all for watching, and I hope you make some. Thank you. Bye.